industrial level production. The microbes are we are using into the other processes. In that we are taking sewage water treatment. Sewage water treatment or municipal waste water treatment. Here, increasing into the population in the cities. Okay, so urbanization conditions, increasing into the population in the cities or the urbanization conditions. It is major problem which is facing into the cities is wastewater only. Waste water disposal. We are taking wastewater disposal. So generally, earlier we are taking the urban wastewater or the municipal wastewater we are taking directly. They are living into the water pools like there is a rivers and the streams. We are taking rivers and the streams, that is water streams, directly they are leaving into those wastewaters into the river and the water streams. So that time the wastewater production we are taking earlier it is into the very low here. Nowadays we are taking into from the urban, so urban or the cities areas, those areas the wastewater and their content per day is having into the more the millions of the liters are. So we want to dispose it. Majorly the wastewater or the sewage water we are taking. Sewage water we are taking. The major important effluent or the major important pollutant is a human excretory products only. So these human excretory products are most harmful and deadful pollutant which is presented into in this sewage water we are taking. Not only the sewage water, even though municipal waste water we are taking here also some of the effluents or the pollutants. So majority of the pollutants are presented into in these waters. So not only the pollutants, these waters are much or more number of microbes or much amount of the microbes or the more the number of the microbes are presented into these wastewaters. So that only these wastewater directly we are leaving or we are allowing into the river and the streams. Nowadays the rivers and the streams are going to polluting here. Okay, so their water quality levels are going to decreasing because of the directly releasing of these wastewater into the rivers and the water streams. So to preventing into the pollution and their effects, by using of the microbes, we are processing into these wastewater or the sewage water and converting as a normal or disinfected or detoxifying, and those effluents or those wastewaters we are leaving into the rivers here. So this is comes under the sewage water treatment we are taking. In this sewage water treatment, where the two steps are presented into the sewage water treatment we are taking. So one is into the primary stage and the secondary stage water treatment. Okay, primary stage water treatment, the secondary stage water treatment. Here the primary stage water treatment, by using of the totally the sewage water treatment STPs we are using, that is sewage treatment plants we are taking. Sewage water treatment plants we are constructing and treating into these wastewater. So first one, the primary treatment we are doing. So what is the primary treatment? What is the secondary treatment? Means primary treatment is a mechanical and initial floating pollutants or the effluents we are taking. Initial floating pollutants are removed from sewage we are taking. So what is the first stage of the sewage water treatment? Means the mechanical, it is a mechanical process. Initial floating pollutants, that is debris, plastic covers, or the fiber materials, or the larger pollutant particles, papers, dust, whatever it may be. So these materials we are removed from the sewage water. This is a primary stage of the treatment here. The secondary stage of the treatment we are taking, sir, it is called as a microbial treatment here. So microbial and chemical treatment. It is nothing but as a microbial and the chemical treatment. So in these two stages we are treating into the sewage water, the municipal wastewater, and disinfecting and the detoxifying into those pollutants. We are removing into those pollutants from the sewage water, and the remaining water we are leaving or we are allowing into the rivers or the water streams here. Like that we are preventing into the water pollution by following of the sewage water here. Then one by one we can be discussing into the primary stage water treatment and the secondary stage water treatment we are taking. So first of all, the primary stage water treatment we are taking is primary stage water treatment. So already we discussed, it is a mechanical process. In this mechanical process, by using of the number of filters, okay, so we are allowing the sewage waters into the different steps, the different tanks we are constructing. In that, the primary stage, we are filtrating into the sewage water. From that to a different types of the waste materials we are removing. A solid waste materials are removing from the water here, sewage water here. Solid wastages are removed from water here. So this is sewage water treatment. First one is a primary stage treatment we are taking. Primary stage. This primary stage treatment, again we are differentiate mechanically, we are separating into the wastages here, pollutants we are separating here. So by the two processes, one is the filtration and second one is the sedimentation process here. Okay, filtration and the sedimentation. The debris or the flux or the solid wastages by the passing of the sewage water. So by different filters, whatever it is the solid wastages are presented, those are removing into the filtration process here. First step it is. Here the solid waste is almost all the solid materials we are removing from the sewage water here. First step it is. The second one, these effluent or the effluent water, sewage water, whatever it is remains, that is allowing to settle down for the sometimes. Though the dust particles has to going to the settle at the bottom of the tank here. Okay, this is called as a primary settling tank here. This is a primary settling tank. So primary settling tank here. So in this primary settling tank, what it is happened means whatever it is the dust particles are remaining, the minute particles, solid particles are, they are going and settling into the at the bottom of the settling tank here, primary settling tank. So that sedimented part of the sewage is called as a primary sludge here. That is called as a primary sludge. That primary sludge we are removing from this primary settling tank and we are disposing into the this primary sludge. Whatever it is remains there into the effluents which are presented. So in this primary settling tank, those are allowing for the secondary stage here. Up to here it is into the primary stage. Just the primary stage is a simple stage. It is a mechanical stage here. So filtration process and the sedimentation process. Simply the two processes only we are conducting here. The filtration process what we are doing is by using of the different filters, the solid waste materials are we are filtrating here and removing into the those debris we are removing here. So plastic covers and fibers or etc. Whatever the solid wastages are there, those are removed. Second one is dissolved are the minute particles, like that is the dust particles and the dissolved particles are. So we are settling down into the at the bottom of the tank, allowing for the sometimes, and those are called as a primary sludge. This primary sludge we are disposal from the primary settling tank. So up to here it is a primary, simple one. Then the secondary stage of the treatment we are taking means secondary stage of the treatment we are taking means whatever it is the effluent we are getting from the primary stage treatment, STP of the primary. So STP, sewage treatment plant of the primary stage, those are allowing into the secondary tanks we are taking. Generally these secondary tanks are called the aeration tanks here. These are nothing but as a aeration tank. The effluent is allowing into the next tank, that is called as the aeration tank. Here continuously agitation is occurs by using of these mechanical propellers are presented. So these are continuously agitating, that is these are continuously mixing into the this effluent, the sewage water. From that to whatever it is, and not only that, we are allowing into the oxygen here. We are introducing into the oxygen. So because of the insertion of the introducing into the oxygen, whatever it is the microbes which are presented, aerobic microbes, like that as the bacteria and the fungal forms. So fungi, they are growing well and they are producing into the a meshwork like hyphae are producing into the this fungi and the bacteria. Their flocculations are forming. So their fungal hyphae is forming. So by this fungal hyphae, their growth, what it is happening means a meshwork like structure is forming. Okay, meshwork like structure is forming into the in this effluent we are taking. And not only that, by this aeration, the growth of these microbes, bacteria and the fungi, the BOD concentrate, the BOD levels also decreasing to the rapidly. That is the biological oxygen demand levels also going to decreasing here. Why? The bacteria and the fungi, they are utilizing the organic component whatever it is dissolves into these effluents. Those are effectively utilizing. So by using of this oxygen which is we are supplying, the oxygen, the organic component materials they are consuming and they are growing. They are forming into the meshwork like structure they are producing here. So later on in these flocculants of the bacteria and the fungal hyphae, so from this aeration tank we are removing those wastages. Okay, we are removing those wastages continuously, and the effluent whatever it may be there, that is we are allowing for the next tank here into the second stage. Generally it is called as a settling tank. It is called as a aeration tank here. Aeration tank. The secondary stage of the sewage water treatment is occurs into the three stages are there. They are the sludge treatment, method, oxidation, and trickling filtration here. Trickling filters. So any one of these methods generally we are using in the secondary stage here. Generally we are using the sludge treatment method. Here the sludge treatment method, what it is, we are doing the aeration, we are providing the air, so oxygen to the aeration tank. That time bacteria and the fungi is growing. So those bacteria and the fungi organic wastages are, they are utilizing it, they are consuming the directly oxygen and they are utilizing into the organic wastages and they are growing well. So those who are continuously removing from the aeration tank and the remaining effluent is allows into the secondary settling tank here. This is a secondary settling tank we are taking. Secondary settling tank. So once the effluent is reaches into the secondary settling tank, so we are allowing for this effluent sometimes into the secondary settling tank. Those who are here, there is no air here. So there is no air, the anaerobic microorganisms, microbes, whatever they are not growing into the aeration condition, anaerobic microbes, they are growing into in this settling tank and they are settled down at the bottom of the secondary settling tank. So this is called as a sludge, secondary sludge here, the secondary sludge. In this secondary sludge, actually these are having into the anaerobic microorganisms. So this is also called as the activated sludge here. By the activation of the microbial action, these are producing here. So this is called as a activated. This activated some amount of the activated sludge again we are allowing to the aeration tank before entering into the effluents into the aeration tank. That is, they are allowing into the primary tank here, primary settling tank. So because to allowing into the microbial activity, it is acting as an inoculum here. So in these effluents is not having into the microbes in the sufficient amount to allowing into the sufficient amount of the microbes. So this one we are acting, this one we are allowing, it is acting as an inoculum and it is continuing into the process here. The remaining, only the trace amount only we are allowing into the, again into the primary settling tank. The remaining one we are allowing into the, so the secondary sludge are the activated, the secondary sludge we are taking, the secondary sludge we are allowing into the sludge digester here, that sludge disposer. So we are going to using into the disposer. The sludge digester we are allowing. So this sludge, the secondary sludge, when it is reaches into the secondary digester, here by the microbial action, already we know that what type of the microbes are presented? Anaerobic microbes are presented into the secondary sludge. Anaerobic microbe. So by the activity of these microbes, the anaerobic microbes in the sludge digester, these are producing into the different types of the gases are producing H2S, CH4, so phosphate, nitrates, like this, not phosphate, so nitrates, so sulfates, methane, butane and the nitrates, these are the different types of the gases are producing into the sludge digester by the anaerobic microbes here. So anaerobic microbes, from where to they are getting? Already secondary sludge is having into the so many number of the anaerobic microbes here. So later on the effluents are, this is the effluents are clarified effluents they are forming into the secondary settling tank we are taking. Most probably these are disinfected only. These are not so toxic effluents. So these effluents are directly we can be allowing into the rivers or the water stream. This is the sludge process we are taking. But nowadays we are taking these clarified effluents, we are allowing into the tertiary treatment of the sewage water. In this tertiary treatment of the sewage water, what we are doing is oxidation and the trickling filters we are using here. Trickling filters and the oxidation process. So here it is called as a biochemical reactions we are undergoes into the tertiary treatment method we are. So tertiary treatment method what we are doing means whatever it is a clarified effluents are presented. This clarified effluent sewage we are allowing into the chemical chamber or the chemical tank. There we are adding into the chlorine. So chlorination we are doing, or we are adding into the ozonization we are doing. So chlorination, ozonization, DTT. So like this, some of the chemicals we are adding into these clarified effluents. So whatever it is a clarified effluents we are treating with these chemicals, the total toxins or the microbes they are going to die. Only the pure water. So those who are not having into the any water, those who are useful for these are reaches into the up to the consuming level here. Okay, their quality is reaches into the up to the consuming level. So those effluent or those water we are getting from these chemical tanks here. Later on these chemical tanks too, these effluents we are allowing into the trickling filters or the filtration chamber, final filtration chamber. These are the ultra filters here. Any one of the smaller particles they are removing from that, and only the pure water we are getting. Those water we are using for the different purposes of the utilization, either into the drinking purpose also. So like this, the wastewater or the sewage water, the primary and the secondary stage and the tertiary stage we are treating, and we are converting into this wastewater as a useful water here. So these are the steps of in the sewage water treatment. Up to now we are taking means there is no man-made system which is not able to treat the sewage water so like this as a microbial treatment. All these steps we are taking microbial treatment. Through the microbes only we are converting into the wastewater as a useful water here. But any one of the man-made system that is not so treating into the like that as the microbes, it is not converting that amount of the sewage water as a microbes. It is not any alternative is not developed by the man-made system. So that only nowadays also we are following into these microbial sewage water treatment method only. So in generally in the overall world we are taking per a day so many millions of the gallons of the water we are treating into the STPs here. So all these waste waters we are allowing into the water streams or the rivers after these sewage water treatment plant. This is also one of the application of the microbial activities into the daily life. We are biogas production. The microbial another application in the human life is the biogas production. Generally, the biogas plantation we are majorly seeing into the rural areas only, because the availability of the biomass or the wastages, organic wastages we are taking are more available into the rural areas only. Here majorly in this biogas production, we are taking the different types of the gases they are producing. A mixed gases are producing from the biological wastages, biological organic wastages we are taking. So that the methane, butane, carbon dioxide, hydrogens, etc. So these are the different types of the gases are presented in the different composition. The major composition is the 60 to 70 percentage of the methane is presented. So 20 to 30 percent, 20 to 25 percentage of the butane. The remaining is the carbon dioxide and the hydrogen is presented into the approximately the 10 percentage we are taking. Okay. So these are the different composition of the gases. Different compositions, the different gases are releasing from the biomass here. So these gases are generally called as biogases here. Okay, biogas. So in this biogas plantation of the biogas production, what we are using as a raw material means majorly we are using the raw material is a dung. That is a animal dung. We are taking means majorly we are using the animal dung as a raw material for the biogas production. The animals are cultivating into the rural areas and their byproducts like that as a animal dung generally called as a gobar here. These are in the word we are taking means gobar. So this animal dung using as a raw material here. Raw material. So that only this process is called as a gobar gas production. This is also called as a gobar gas production. So what we are doing into the gobar gas production, what is the plantation means? Here in the gobar gas production, we are taking here like this, the plantation is having into a larger tank is having gobar gas tank is or the gas tank is we are making here. So larger concrete tank or the steel of the concrete tank we are making in that too. So here animal dung. So here the raw material we are adding into the slides we are adding here. The slides we are adding. So along with the water and the sludge we are adding into through this structure here, through this structure. Sludge adding. So this sludge is enters into the large gobar gas tank here. Here the tank is covering by the anaerobically. The tank is completely we are covering. We are covering into the completely. So once we are covering into the completely, anaerobically we are anaerobic covering process we are doing. Anaerobically we are. So whatever it is the methanogenic bacterial forms or the microbes which are presented here into these sludge. This sludge is nothing but as a cow or the cattle dung only. In these cattle we are taking their intestine they are having into the methanogenic symbiotic bacteria they are presented. So different forms of the symbiotic bacteria. So those symbiotic bacteria along with their dung they are releases out. So those dung only we are using as a sludge, as a raw material. So these along with this raw material in this tank, the microbes and the organic materials are present. When we are allowing into the anaerobic condition, that time these methanogenic bacteria or acidifying bacteria or enzymes of these microbes they are starting into the fermentation and producing along with the carbon dioxide the different gases are producing here. So CH4, C3H6, CO2, like these different gases they are producing into the microbial action, anaerobic condition. So those gases enters into these settling in this tank. They are gases are allowing into towards into the upward direction in this tank. Collecting tank is they are enters into the collecting tank. And whatever it is the slides after the fermentation, continuously every day we are adding into the animal dung, some amount of the animal dung continuously we are adding, and whatever it is the dung we are already utilized, that utilized dung we are removing from the plantation here, from the gobar gas tank here. Generally this waste we are using as a fertilizer for crop plants we are taking, or the crop fields we are taking. These wasted slides or utilization slides we are using as a fertilizer. So whatever it is the gases we are getting into the anaerobically nearby the plant, these gases we are using for the cooking, and not only the cooking, even though illumination, that is okay, cooking purpose and the lightening purpose, generally we are using into these gases here. So this is into the biogas production mechanism here. So first of all, what we are doing, animal dung just we are adding into through this funnel like structure, through this structure sludge tank we are adding into the main tank here. So here the microbial activities occurs, and the different gases are allowing. These gases we are connected with the cooking purpose into the kitchen, and the remaining wastages of the sludge we are utilizing into the fertilizer here. This is a simple process of the biogas production here. So simply the anaerobic microbial action, the gases we are producing. This is the second application of the microbes here. Then we are taking to the microbes. How we are using into the another application means microbes are using as a biocontrolling agents here. Microbes are using as a biocontrolling agents. Biocontrolling agents here, or the biological controls here. Generally biological controls techniques, biological controls. Here the biocontrolling agents or biological controls techniques, what type of the microorganisms generally, what is mean by this biocontrol means some type of the bacteria or the fungal forms, they are acting as a biocontrol agent, or the biological control. That means in the crop field or the paddy fields we are taking means they are not allowing into the harmful pathogen and their growth. So those are called as a biological controlling agent. For example, baculovirus we are taking means, and cytoplasmic polyhedrosis. So these two are baculovirus and the cytoplasmic polyhedrosis virus. These two are the viral forms only. These two are generally, these two viruses we are utilizing into the IPM. IPM is nothing but as a integrated pest management here. So in this integrated pest management method, we are using into the baculovirus and the cytoplasmic polyhedrosis here. And not only this, some of the bacteria, okay, and some of the fungal forms also. How these are controlling into the remaining harmful other organisms means, For example, Bacillus thuringiensis you can take. So it is called as a commonly called as a BT. Bacillus thuringiensis. The spores of the Bacillus thuringiensis. Okay, the spores of these Bacillus thuringiensis, when we are spraying on the plants, okay, when we are spraying on the plants, these spores of the Bacillus thuringiensis is consuming by the larval forms of the pest we are taking. The pest is consuming into the spores. These are into the toxic here. Toxic substance. The spores of the Bacillus thuringiensis is a toxic substance. So this toxic nature, because of this toxicity, the pest, their throat or their digestive tract is infected by these toxins, and the pest is going to kill by this Bacillus thuringiensis sporulation here. So initially they are identified into the Bacillus thuringiensis, and their spores are causing the toxic effect on the pest or the different forms of the larval stages of the insects we are taking. Okay, and not only that, even though ladybug, the ladybug also. So it is also, the ladybug is also causing it the pest controller here. So in this type of the insects, or this type of these ladybugs we are taking, these worms we are taking, so these are eating into the larval forms of the pest producing organism. Their larvae they are eating by these insects here. So like this, the ladybug and the BT cotton, these are two acting as a pest controllers or the biological controllers here. After that, later on in the scientific approach we are taking, sir, the BT, that is Bacillus thuringiensis gene, is separated from these organisms and they are introduced into the plants here, and they are produced into the BT varieties here. So BT varieties they are produced, and these BT varieties are having into the gene of the Bacillus thuringiensis, which is causing into the toxic effect here. So that only these plants are getting into the resistance against to that of the pest here. That means pest resistant varieties are developed by the genetic engineering process, the transformation of the BT gene, so Bacillus thuringiensis gene into the plants. Example we are taking BT cotton here. BT cotton. BT cotton. So the BT cotton is a variety, the genetic variety, genetically modified variety, which is having the resistant against to that of a different pest here. So like this, by using of the microbes or their genes and their products, we are controlling into the different types of the harmful or the pest agents into the crop field here. So that means the microbes are acting as a biological control. This is the one more application of the biological control agents we are taking. So a simple examples we are taking. Next one, biofertilizers here. Biofertilizers. So what is mean by the biofertilizers or the fertilizers we are taking means the substances which are rising nutrient value of soil is called as a fertilizer here. Just simply the fertility of the soil which are rising, generally those are called as a fertilizer. The substances which are rising in the nutrient value of the soil is called as a fertilizers. Normally the farmers are chemical fertilizers, the chemical substances, chemical fertilizers are using from the number of years onwards, from the number of decades the farmers are generally they are utilizing the chemical fertilizers. These chemical fertilizers are causing into the some pollution effect is causing into the their traces of the these chemicals, because whenever we are using into the chemical fertilizers, those chemicals, all the chemicals are not completely utilizing by the crop plants we are taking. Plants are not using into the totally into the these chemical fertilizers. So because of the residues of these chemical fertilizers are forming into the pollution effect here. Mostly we are taking soil pollution occurring here. Soil pollution is causing by these chemical fertilizers, and the traces of these chemical fertilizers into the products is also causing into the some diseases into the organism, like that the humans we are taking, sir. These chemicals are also causing into some effects into the human health also. So to preventing into the these chemical fertilizers their effects, now we following into the organic farming. In this organic farming, the microbes we are using as a biofertilizers here. The organic, the microorganisms we are using as a organic microorganism we are using as a biofertilizers. So generally, what we are using as a biofertilizers means what type of the component there comes under the biofertilizers means biopesticides are coming. So sorry. Generally, here the biofertilizers we are taking means nitrogen fixing organism. So generally we are taking means nitrogen fixing organisms. For example, rhizobium. Here, the rhizobium is a symbiotic associating microorganism, bacteria. These are forming into the nodules. These are forming into the root nodules in the leguminous plants we are taking. So that means in these leguminous plants, their roots externally forming into the a smaller rounded structures on their epidermal region here, epithelial region we are taking. So these are nothing but as a nodules. They are developed on the root here. So why these nodules are forming means because of the intracellular symbiotic microbes here. What is that intracellular symbiotic microbes? Rhizobium bacteria. So from the soil to the rhizobium bacteria enters into the intracellular spaces of the root nodules of the leguminous plants and forming into the root nodules here. What is the advantage of the leguminous bacterium means? In this bacterium, rhizobium bacterium means the rhizobium bacterium, the free nitrogen in atmosphere we are taking means the free nitrogen of the atmosphere is converted as the nitrates, and they are supplying into directly into the plant roots here. So that time the plants are growing into the very well here. So like this, the nitrogen fixation is going into the rhizobium. This is one example of the mycobacteria, one example of the microbes we are taking. Next one, here directly the nitrogen fixation is occurs into the tissues of the plants we are taking. So by a symbiotic association. The next one is a free nitrogen fixing bacteria. Free nitrogen fixing microorganisms we are taking, microbes we are taking. For example, Azospirillum and Azotobacter. These two species. So these are also a symbiotic microorganisms. What these are doing? So the Azospirillum and the Azotobacter. Okay. So these are along with the plant roots, along with the plant roots into the soil. So these azospirillum and the azotobacter, these are also living as a symbiotic association only, and these are converting into the free nitrogen of the atmosphere, and they are storing into the soil as a nitrates here. These are not directly supplying into the tissues of the soil, tissues of the plants. So instead of the plants of directly supplying, these are storing into these nitrates into the soil particles here. So through the water, whenever we are pouring into the water, these nitrates is dissolving into the water and absorbing by the roots here. So like this azospirillum and the azotobacter, these two microbes are useful into the growth of the plant, so and rising of the plant productivity here. And not only these, and some of the fungal forms also we can be take. And some of the bacterial, Anabaena, Nostoc, so like these organisms also we are taking, these are also fixing the bacteria, fixing the nitrogen. These are also fixing into the nitrogen. So these free nitrogenous components, not only the nitrogen and some of the phosphates are fixing by these different types of the microbial actions here. So whenever the nitrogen, the phosphates are available to the plant growth is rising and the plant productivity is also going to rise. Not only the supplying of the nitrogen, all these symbiotic bacterial are the microbes we are taking, microbes. So for example, mycorrhiza. So this is also one of the fungal form we are taking. By these symbiotic microbes, the plants are getting into the salinity, drought condition. These are able to withstand into the salinity condition and the drought condition, and the root-borne pathogenic diseases of the plants we are taking, from root-borne pathogenic diseases also protecting the plants by the symbiotic microorganisms, like that as a mycorrhiza you can be taken, or the Anabaena you can be taken, Nostoc you can be taken. So like these are the different types of the microbes are useful the growth and the productivity, rising of the productivity into the plants we are taking, and they are getting into the disease resistance and as well as the nutrient material by the activity of the microbes we are. So these are all comes under the biofertilizers here. These are all comes under the biofertilizers. So like this, different types of the microbes we are using into the biofertilization. So these are the topics regarding to the microbes in the human welfare, majorly sewage water treatment, biogas production, biocontrolling agents, like that as a biopesticides, bioinsecticides, bioherbicides, natural biocontrolling agents. So those who are comes under the biocontrolling agents. Some of the examples we are taking, bacterovirus, cytoplasmic polyhydrosis, and the trichoderma. Okay, so these are into the commonly majority we are using into the biocontrolling agent. Not only that, some of the parasitic. So these are the microbes as a symbiotic form they are using it. The parasites we are taking is ladybugs, trichogramma. So these are generally comes under the parasitic form. The natural biocontrolling agents we are taking, sir, azadirachtin we are taking, rotenone and the squil, nicotine and the pyrotharum. So these are all comes under the natural. Here we are taking the azadirachtin. It is getting from the mango and the neem plants. So their secretion that is comes under the azadirachtin. It is a natural biocontroller here. And the rotinones. So it is also a common Chinese biocontrolling agent here. Squil, generally it is called as a red squil here. Actually, it is the sea squil here. It is a sea product here. So sea onion, generally we call as a sea onion. The red squil or the sea onion is producing into the secretion. It is also acting as a natural biocontroller here. And the nicotine, the tobacco products we are taking, the tobacco plant we are taking, sir, they are the alkaloid which is producing, that is called as a nicotine. It is also we are spraying into the natural farming, the nicotine we are spraying to controlling into the pest. It is also natural control. Like that as a pyrethrum. So like these different types of the natural controllers, parasitic and so biocontrolling agents here. Okay. So natural herbicides, okay, pesticides and the parasitic natural control, all these are comes under the biological. Their examples are, these are the examples of the biological control. So these are regarding to the microbes in the human health.